Welcome to the TalkCondo Release Radar. Today is a special episode where we're going to be doing a deep dive into Playground Condominiums, which is one of the most exciting new condominium projects in downtown Toronto. So we're recording this now at the end of March.
Yes.
We've got a launch date now for Playground Condominiums. It is going to be launching on April the 4th, which is the first Tuesday after Easter weekend.
It's next week.
It's next week. So the reason we're talking about that now is because timelines are so important. We want to make sure that the people watching this understand the timelines for this so that they can get prepared so that when the launch happens, we're able to move quickly. So we've got a week now. We're going to go through the 5 top reasons why we think Playground Condominiums is an excellent condominium investment. Between now and next week, if you're interested, please reach out to one of us by emailing us at info@talkcondo, and we'd be more than happy to get you on our priority list.
Yep.
So, like I said, we're going to talk about the 5 key reasons why we're excited about Playground Condominiums. The first reason that we love this project is the location.
Absolutely.
So, Mike, give us a quick rundown of where this project is and why we love this area.
For sure. So the easiest way to explain it would be it's sort of nestled between King West, Liberty Village, and Fort York.
Mm-hmm.
Major intersection, I suppose, would be King and Strawn. Specific intersection is going to be Ordnance and Strawn. So if you're not hyper familiar with those streets, it's going to be sort of tucked in between all 3 of them, which is really nice because we'll get into more detail about the whole master plan community next, but in terms of the actual location itself, you have Fort York to the south, you have Liberty Village to the west, and King West to the north. So you're able to tap into all 3 communities, which all offer distinct lifestyle advantages for all 3 of them. So you're not just getting one, you're getting all 3, which is why I like this one specifically.
We always like that kind of thing. When you're sandwiched between 2 neighborhoods, you've got this neighborhood to the left, this neighborhood to the right, you really do get the best of both worlds. Exactly. And in this case, King West is very unique compared to Liberty Village, which has its own unique feel to Fort York. Mm-hmm. I myself lived in this area for a couple of years, and there was things that I loved about this neighborhood. One of the things that I loved was the restaurants along King Street West and Queen Street West. Liberty Village has its own vibe. It's got, again, amazing restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
BMO.
Yeah, if you're into sports, TFC's right there. Yeah. Exhibition for end of summer. You have Fort York, of course, it's right there in terms of Garrison Commons. So any cyclists or people going on walks, everything is right there for them. Again, we'll get into sort of the pedestrian bridge is going to connect everything here, but you're going to have access now to King West, Queen West, the lake. So in terms of location, I mean, this is one of the top ones, I think. Yeah. Just slightly outside of core, now kind of becoming a core project because everything that's sort of tying into it now.
Well, it's a nice transition to the King Street pilot.
Yeah.
So the King Street pilot is something that's been running for a few months now. Give us a quick rundown on what the King Street pilot is before we talk about the importance.
Sure. So in King West, essentially, we were seeing just incredible amount of backup of streetcars and traffic, and it was very difficult to get into the city along the streetcar line into downtown. So essentially the city said, we're going to do a 1-year pilot where we take cars off the road entirely.
Yeah.
And in that time, we've seen an amazing reaction from the public, from riders, because times have increased for them. You're dealing a lot less with backups of streetcars, which can be really frustrating. I'm sure lots of people can attest to that. So it's increased the walkability of the area, the ability to get downtown, so it's increased efficiency and productivity for people. So it's been really, really popular for residents in that area, and it's opened up King West and Liberty Village, which always felt a little bit more closed off.
Yeah,
disconnected, and now it's reconnected it to the city.
I think the the best thing is what you was mentioning, the tweet, the most retweeted comment.
One of the most retweeted comments about the King Street pilot was, effectively, they built a multi-billion-dollar subway along King Street just by using a few coats of paint and changing a few rules, which is a great way of explaining it. They've really created this rapid transit along King Street, which is one of the most important corridors downtown. And just anecdotally speaking, like I mentioned, I did live in this area for a couple of times, and once or twice I did try and use the subway to get into the city in rush hour. And
the streetcar
during rush hour, and I would never do it again.
What's the point of taking public transportation if you're going to be stuck in traffic the entire time?
Exactly. So it would be a nightmare to wait for one. Once you're on it, it takes forever. You're crawling. Takes forever to get across the city. And again, just speaking to friends in the same building, they've said it's a night and day difference. It's no longer a chore to use the streetcar in those key times. So I think it's been a big success for ridership. So in terms of what this does to the neighborhood, like I said, it's like building a subway along it. It's just that.
And you have 100 out of 100 transit score now.
100 out, yeah. Which is
it always was, but now it's actually 100
Yeah.
out of 100.
Yeah.
Beyond that number. So yeah, and just getting back to the location, you talked about sort of the vibe of King West, the vibe of Queen West, and very distinct and different, but you have everything there possible in this entire, in this little pocket, which is going to be really cool.
So we've heard of this area referred to as the Soho of Toronto. If you're not familiar with Soho is a very popular and trendy neighborhood in New York City. And where it got that moniker from is it's got that trendy vibe. It's got the restaurants. It's got the boutique shops. So this is that's where it's all coming from, and that's where the connection is made.
Yeah.
So transitioning from the location, number two reason that we're really excited for the Playground condominiums is the master plan community. Before we talk specifically about what the master plan that they're doing here, I think it's important to understand why master plan investing as a strategy works so well, and why we're big believers in it, and why it's a tried and trusted method of investing. So Mike, give us a quick rundown of...
Well, we talk about this a lot. I mean, we talked about it even just a couple of release radars ago in terms of like Era condominiums, Young Park. We've talked about how Pemberton does that a lot, Daniels and Regent Park. So multifaceted phases are good, and you want to buy in as soon as you can, because developers are going to, increase prices in each subsequent phase, and they build off of each other. Oftentimes we'll bring in more retail, more commercial, more office. Can be destination type master plan communities and neighborhoods. So buying into a master plan it's not foolproof. I don't want to say that, but it gives investors a very, very, very good chance of, their return on investment is going to be a lot higher on opportunities like that, I think.
And we've seen it time and time and time again. The buyers who see the vision and buy into the vision, they're the ones who profit big time.
Yes.
The buyers who were early in Regent Park, you mentioned Regent Park by Daniels, have seen substantial growth because they bought into the vision before it was anything. And the same thing is going to happen here, because there is a lot planned for this parcel of land. And Mike, I know, again, you've had a really close look at what the plans are for this is the Garrison Point redevelopment. So why don't you give us a quick rundown of...
So this is the second building in the phase. It's going to be 35 stories. Beyond the building, though, I mean, in terms of amenities and finishes and features, everything's going to be everything's really, I don't want to say high end, but everything now being built is very modernized,
very high standard.
Very high standard. And you don't really need to, upgrade very much like you would in the past. So just beyond the building, the thing that really excites me about this project is actually the public space that's there. So you have almost half of the development that's going to be dedicated to a public park. So we're talking almost 4 acres, and you're going to be having a park and an Olympic-sized pool in the area, and that's all going to be connected through a pedestrian bridge. And this pedestrian bridge is going to be it's going to basically connect you. The bridge itself will actually connect from Stanley Park in the north, just south of Queen, to all the way to Fort York. So you're going to be essentially connected to the lake, Fort York, this specific pocket at Garrison, King West, Liberty Village, and Queen West. I mean, I don't know how many neighborhoods can easily be connected to 5 different spots like that, and 50% of the project being public space
dedicated back to the public
is unheard of. So that's what really excites me about this, from not just an investor point of view, but from an end user point of view as well. The type of people that are going to be coming to this kind of project are going to be attracted to that, and investors should pay attention to that, because there's a lot to sell to their tenants and resell down the line.
There's a couple of ones that I wanted to really touch on here. I mean, you mentioned the 4-acre park. Condos on a park in the downtown setting are so rare and very much in demand. People love being around the green space. Buyers with dogs, tenants with dogs, be having a space to go downstairs and have that space for the pets. Being on the park just in itself, condos on the park is a rarity. And again, I think it's such an important piece of the puzzle here because a 4-acre park, pretty significant.
And not just that one, is connecting you to Garrison Common, which is a massive park in Fort York.
And Fort York,
Stanley Park, Trinity Bellwoods.
The lake
to the south. So in terms of parks, you definitely have.
Yeah, you're covered.
You're covered.
You're covered, yeah.
So no, it's in terms of the master plan community, this has everything you want and more in it.
Excellent. One of the other features that they have that's pretty unique here is the Olympic-sized pool.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why don't you talk to us a little bit about where that fits into the community?
So it's kind of, if we have the rendering, it's basically sort of a triangular type, 7.6 acre triangular type lot, I suppose you want to call it.
Yeah.
And the Olympic-sized pool will fit in right at the tip of that. So from the tip to, I guess, the first Garrison Point, you have the park in between. You have 2 pavilions in terms of change rooms and I guess there'll be some washrooms and things like that there. And then the Olympic-sized pool, that's going to be right at the edge of it. So it's a really nice design.
It's really nice and unique. It's not something we see, right?
Yeah. Imagine the views from the pool.
Yeah, they're going to be right towards downtown Toronto, the skyline. Yeah. So master plan is obviously a major piece of the puzzle here. The number 3 reason that we're really excited for Playground is the growth of the tech sector in this neighborhood.
Yeah.
So anybody who's been following along, the tech industry in Toronto is booming.
It's huge.
Tech companies are moving into the city at a rapid rate, and the reason is the talent, the workforce in Toronto now is very much geared toward that technology sector.
Yep.
So in the last few years, especially, big major tech companies are setting up their headquarters and office spaces
in King West.
In this area, and the reason is because there's a beautiful marriage of the kind of jobs that are coming there and the kind of people that live in these neighborhoods.
There, the kind of space that exists there.
Yeah. So why don't you give us a rundown of Amit?
No, I've got some figures actually. King West quick facts. Total population roughly 440,000. The average household income here is 100,000, just a touch over 100,000. The financial district average household income is just a little bit more. It's only 106,000. So the average income here is quite substantial. You mentioned that there's some big name companies moving here. I'm going to name off a few: StubHub, Kobo, Shopify, Uber, eBay, Mozilla, Kijiji are here. So just to name off a couple, to number off some more, there's over 600 small to medium-sized businesses in this pocket. 100 tech firms. So you're in essentially a tech hub here. Yeah. Right. You're very much right in the heart of it. When it comes to this particular development.
I mean, one of the big ones that was recently announced was Shopify. You mentioned Shopify. So they're taking 260,000 square feet for one of their headquarters. That's going to be in downtown Toronto, just a few minutes from here at Kingham, Portland.
Universal Canada as well.
Moving into Liberty Village, on Atlantic, I believe. Yeah, so what we're seeing here is that the traditional financial district, these tech companies are not going there because the kind of workers that they're trying to attract is very much in these up-and-coming trendy, and again, that Soho sort of moniker really ties into all of that.
100%, yeah.
So that's a really exciting thing because we're going to see an increase in salaries because of those kind of jobs.
Just bring more people into the neighborhood, right?
For sure. The next area that we're really excited about for Playground is the developers.
Right.
So Citizen and Fernbrook, 2 powerhouses in GTA development. I want you to rattle off some of the projects.
Areas?
No, the projects.
The projects.
Let's start with some of the projects. So I think a lot of people who are watching this will know the projects that Citizen and Fernbrook have been involved in.
I think some of the most famous ones. I mean, just go to Mississauga. When you're on the highway, what do you see? You'd see the Marilyn Monroe Towers.
Absolute.
And what's unique about this pairing of developers is the designs that they sort of come up with and go with. Marilyn Monroe Towers are
That won an
absolute.
international award.
It did.
Yeah.
It did. International Global Award. So they're world-renowned designs. Absolute, obviously. So then we've got Pier 27 at the lake.
Downtown Toronto.
Downtown Toronto. And then we also have L Tower.
Yeah.
But I wanted to speak about, say, Fernbrook, one half of the partnership. They've not just developed in Toronto, but they've developed right across. You're talking Thornhill, Milton, Oakville. You've got East Gwillimbury, Cambridge, Vaughan. They're everywhere. They're literally everywhere. Citizen themselves, they've developed across the GTA as well. I named off a couple of their more famous St. Lawrence condominiums as well.
158 front, yeah.
Yeah, they're known for. So these are not small-time companies. And them as a partner, as a partnership, is
well, together they've done projects together.
They've been very successful.
Very, very successful.
Very successful.
Excellent. The number 5 reason we're really excited for this condominium, which I think is going to resonate with a lot of buyers, is the price points.
Right.
Yeah. So we've hit a time in Toronto now where new condo launches are $1,000, $1,100 a foot, $1,200 a foot. It's not unusual now. Added onto that is suite sizes. Suite sizes are starting to get larger. So you're combining a time when price per square foot is getting bigger at a time when suite sizes are getting bigger, and we're getting to a price point now that a lot of first-time investors, new investors, are a little bit afraid of.
Yeah.
So give us a quick rundown of
Sure. Yeah, I talk to a lot of people when it comes to prices in Toronto. A lot of people are, still a little bit taken aback sometimes if they're not necessarily a seasoned investor. They're looking for first-time opportunities or first-time buyers, and we kind of have to come to the reality of that this is where prices are, and $1,000 a square foot now seems to be that.
Even on the resale side, it's a reality.
It's everywhere too, and I think people are starting to understand that now. But this project is going to be sub $1,000 per square foot, which we're just not seeing. So $900 a square foot is a starting point. So we're looking at units in the 300s,
which suite site prices now in the 300,000s, 400,000s are becoming such a rarity, even in the outskirts.
Yes.
So to have a project with that kind of price point in the downtown core, so connected with so many good talking points and exciting points, is very, very rare.
So in terms of the type of buyer that will come here, price point is going to attract everybody, obviously. You're going to have investors that are going to be excited about this, first-time buyers that are going to feel like they have an opportunity now, families that are looking for larger units that can afford something in this, and it's the kind of community that they're building there is going to attract all 3 types of those kind of people. So price point is obviously huge. It's obviously number 1 for a lot of people, and we can say confidently that prices are going to be really, really attractive here.
Very strong. And my favorite line on real estate investing is, you don't make money when you sell real estate. You make money when you buy real estate. We think the pricing here and everything that's going on, it makes this such an attractive proposition.
And that ties back to timelines, though.
Timelines. So yes, so in the next week or so, we've already been getting bombarded with questions and emails about this project. So we do expect a lot of demand on this one. So if you're interested, you've got a week now to get yourself prepared. Reach out to our team.
Because that launch, that first launch, that first access, those first prices, that's where it's super important to make sure you're in.
So just to hammer home those timelines again, on Tuesday we get the floor plans and prices. So that's Tuesday after Easter weekend, April the 4th. We get the floor plans and prices. We will have a day or 2 with that information before we have to get your suite reservation worksheets in, and the signing will be that first weekend. So we're really excited about this one. We think it's going to do very, very well. And if you have questions, please feel free to reach out to us at info@talkcondo.com, and we're really excited about Playground Condos.